Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think that there is some confusion as to what too big to fail means. It means that a company should not, in failing, have an adverse impact on the American economy such that it can possibly take the economy down with it. If bankruptcy had been an appropriate tool for AIG, AIG could have gone through bankruptcy, but there was a problem. Who knew that AIG was a part of the glue holding the economic order together? If AIG had gone through bankruptcy, the American economy would probably be in a lot worse shape than it is today. The Orderly Liquidation Authority provides a means by which we can wind down the next AIG. We had no way at the time AIG became the centerpiece of the crisis as we were dealing with it at that moment. We had no way to wind it down. There was no means by which we could take AIG down without taking down a significant portion of the economy. And as a result, we put in some billions of dollars. Nobody wanted to do that. I speak for, I think, most of my colleagues on both sides when I say we don't want to spend taxpayer dollars, put taxpayer dollars into these efforts. But we had a choice. We could do nothing and watch the American economy go down the tubes, literally. Or we could engage ourselves and find a way on short notice to wind down a systemically important institution, which is what AIG was at the time. And that's what we did. Nobody wanted to do it. Nobody wants to bail out the local power company. But if it impacts everybody in that area and you're going to lose your electricity, you put into it that which is necessary to preserve the neighborhood, not wanting to see the power company receive benefits, but it's the neighborhood you're protecting. We were protecting our neighbors when we sought to wind down AIG. So there's no desire to have companies become so big that they will impact the American economy adversely. I don't care to see that. But if it does happen, I think there is some degree of comfort in knowing that there is a means by which they can be eliminated if necessary. They can be separated when possible into smaller entities, but such that they don't take the American economy with them. And that's what this Orderly Liquidation Authority does. Now, there was some mention of the Affordable Care Act. More than 50 times I have voted. Actually, I think more than 60, but I'll just go with 50, so I'll be absolutely safe. More than 50 times I've voted on this notion of repealing the Affordable Care Act, and there has not been a vote yet to replace it. Repeal, yes. Replace, not so sure about that. Don't know that it's ever going to take place. But what I find interesting here, and I do admire my colleague for being candid, is that there's no desire to replace. This is just to repeal. This is to go back to 2008. This is to go back to the inability to wind down a systemically important institution that will take the American economy with it. I find that unacceptable. I cannot support this. I don't believe my colleague has any ill intent. I happen to like him very much, but I don't like this piece of legislation. So I will oppose it because I understand the necessity to be able to wind down the next AIG. I yield back.